Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the breakfast show. And today we on Friday. That's right, Friday, the 12th of March. Having said that, on last Tuesday, we have seen the market rebounded back as we have seen the green pentagon. And yet, last night, we've seen the Dow Jones rebounded as the COVID-19 relief has been passed on and accepted in the US Congress in here. We did see Dow Jones even cracking higher, and there is more to come. A lot of the news are getting very positive in the KLSE. And today, we definitely have a lot more for you, all of you, and thank you for coming this morning, and thank you for sharing this video in your timeline. We really appreciate that one. And for those of you who are first time, I welcome you. And just type 1 if you are the first time in here, so I know that you guys are part and parcel of the Trade VSA family and also SMARTRobie. And of course, not to forget, this morning in here, we have something for you, which is our agenda. And let's look at this morning what we have for you. And this morning we are on the Friday agenda, which is usually we look at the advanced level in here, and there's a lot of premium alerts which sets up every 30 minutes. That's right. So we also be looking at some of the volume spread analysis setup that we have seen so far. And thank you again for those of you good morning wishes in here. And let's move on to what we have in our headline that we have for you. Definitely this morning headline is all about CPO prices. Now CPO has hit new high. That's right, it has hit new high, and it's almost cracking down to 4,000. As this morning, if we open up at 10:30 morning, we have to know whether the CPO prices will hit 4,000 and then reverse. But having said that, you can see from this left hand side of this chart here, you can see the market has really made big movement way back in somewhere in January, almost 1,600. It also coincide with the improvement of the crude palm oil, and we all talk about it yesterday too. Every time when you have crude palm oil in here, and that will always translate to more money for the coffer, right? Which means our country will be better. We don't have to rely so much on it. But let's take a look at where we are this morning. And as I bring up a wider chart, you can see here the KLCI this morning. Okay, I think let me just check here. But before that, let me just show you the chart that we have on this side. You can see we did crack through the old resistance. That's right, which is the 1620, and that's crucial. So which means the 1620, it cracked through, it should able to hold its support in here, and that's, to me, it's pretty good. And that's what we really want to see, able to hold it, because remember, the stocks doesn't go up in a straight line. It goes up, come back down a bit, then goes up. So if it does come back down, 1620 is the support level that we want to see. And definitely the market has been up 4 days in a row, and that's what we see yesterday, a pullback. And this morning we should be an up day. Let me just look at the KLCI in here. It's almost unchanged. It's minus 0.64%, which is around 1624. So that's very positive. And I think more importantly, we want to see some rally on the CPO prices that we want to see right now. Let's look at some of the CPO prices. TSH here. Okay, TSH hit that one, and let's see THS. Look at the stock live prices here, and it is up. That's right, 1.8%. So for those of you who are looking for a little bit of upside, we want to play this thing because you're going to play catch up. That's for sure. A lot of the CPO price, because very simple, it doesn't take a genius, right? So as CPO prices go higher, and you will see that will translate to better margins for these plantation companies. So many of the plantation will start to move up yet. All right. Now I did know that on Wednesday we talk about not moving, but eventually when you see this market moving, so you were able to get in. And those of you who are really interested in rotational play, take a look at palm oil. There are a lot of stocks, and you all know how to do that, isn't it? All you have to do is type plantation, and the whole list of stocks do come. Let me just show you how it does. How simple is it to do that? Just type plantation. As I type plantation, you can see the whole sets of plantation stocks are coming out already. But hit that one, and you can see the whole list of stocks coming up in here. And let me just, there you go. All right. So take a look at them and see which one has the best setup, which one has the best rating, Robbie, and look at the fundamentals, look at the trade setup, and off you go. It's not that difficult, isn't it? Having said that, TDM, Bolster Plantation, Kertam, IJM, United Plantation, and IOI Corp 2. All right, take a look at those when you have time, and let's move on to what we have for our story for you this morning in here. So moving on to the next story is again oil and gas, finally positive after hitting above $70 in here. And as you can see, a lot of this story talks about gas players doing well. And take a note of it, there are three players that talk about in here: Dialog, Server Dynamics, and Gas Malaysia. And Server Dynamics is definitely one of the better SMARTRobie ratings. Just check out SMARTRobie ratings on this SMARTRobie, and you're able to see Server Dynamics definitely rated very well. But again, we will talk about it more tomorrow, right? I hope you all know what's happening tomorrow at 10 a.m. We are doing our basic fundamental analysis for beginner. That's right. So make sure you join me tomorrow. We have limited seats, okay, so make sure you join it. I will give you a QR code. If you have time with me, join me in the morning, right, just after breakfast, and we should be able to finish just after lunch, and then you can spend time with your family in here. But knowing those few fundamentals in here will enable you to capitalize on the far moving market that you'll see coming in here soon too. All right, so let's look at what we have this morning after the oil and gas upgrades. And the next story is next, Dagang Net. Now Dagang Net continued to go much higher, moving already. Dagang Net, let me just show you the chart here. Right, Dagang Net, you can see the stock prices has gone up considerable, continue to move up, and you can see it switch off to the more. It actually started moving way below, around 20 cents, around 20 cents there, and all the way now about 80, 90 cents, and that's pretty interesting, isn't it? Having said that, this stock is really moving up much faster than it is. And right now, with the secure of NSW contract extension from the government in here, and also buying, I think got the secure of the Cetera wafer fab, so this stock has certainly proved to move up higher. Again, this always been able to move up on good news, but can they deliver on the earnings? So usually when the thing moves up, then deliver on the earnings like we have seen on the rubber glove. You know those rubber glove? By the time the result comes out, everything dropped down, isn't it? Would this be another version of that one? Hopefully not, but again, that's why we have the stop loss that you see on the left-hand side in here, a horizontal stop loss that trails with the price goal. If we close below, you might want to exit and rotate to it and not fall into the same mistakes that many of the beginner makes during the rubber glove sell down. Let's move on to our next story. So our next story will be on Server Dynamics. That's right, we talk about Server Dynamics being an all gas and play, and right now they are even venturing into what we call space venture, astronaut, space venture. So that is going to be good in here. So space venture, how is that going to be profitable? But I do think a lot of this good news, and previously they were going to technology, but Server Dynamics, I think the news is coming back. It's one of the, as I said before, one of the better rated. Let's take a look at this, okay? And switching to a wider chart here, and you can see stock fundamentals. All right, just wait for a while we have that one. There you go, okay? It's a bit of traffic in here. So you can see it's rated 7. That's right, 7. So that is almost an ROE of 19 times with 11 and giving out a 3% dividend yield. All right. So from then we're able to calculate the intrinsic value, definitely overvalue in here. And it does has a target profit at 15.5 times PE, automated calculated by SMARTRobie, which is around 265. Right now it's 190. What are you doing? Let's look at the stock comment and charts in here. So stock comment and charts since the green pentagon, okay, since the green pentagon, let's check it out here. You can see on this side, SMARTRobie fact, Server Dynamics is at likely 11.8% since the last green pentagon at 169, which is on 11th of February. So it took some time. Again, Server Dynamics, like it or not, it tend to follow the queue from the oil and gas. And right now we have oil and gas being upgraded by MIDF, so we can see a lot of oil and gas do up. And again, those of you interested to see what kind of stocks, what kind of ideas, just type in energy, right? And you'll be get a whole full sets of lists there inside there. Something for you guys to have time and look at. All right, let's move on to what we have next for you in our news headline. Is definitely the long-term growth for Hartalega. That's right. Hartalega, like it or not, has been taking a lot of beating, from the so-called lowering of ASP, average selling price, lack of demand because due to the vaccine rollout. And this morning, we have President Biden giving the one-year address, the first one-year address that he had from the COVID-19, which has started. And they are talking about how the COVID vaccine rollout and how they intend to get every adult, 16 years and above, to able to access vaccine by 1st of May. That's right. So will that something be here in Malaysia? So far, we have not seen the local government giving up any promises on that. But let's hope we are able, all of us, adult, you and me, able to get the vaccine within at least the end of this year, so we all can go on with our lives, hug our families, visit our grandparents, visit my parents too. I haven't seen them for some time, and we've been and also able to do things we all love to, which is you and me. We love to travel. That's right, able to travel so you can plan all your holiday. But let's talk about this story that we have here. Now, Hartalega is really into the long-term growth, and they are looking to expand by buying a big piece of 250 acres in Bukit Kayu in Kedah for around 229 million. So this means this guy is going to beat the shit out of everybody else. All the small time in here, with higher quality, higher economic scale, and that is definitely tough. When the big guys put in money, and they know, knowing from the Kwan family, very conservative in here, I think that's a good bet going forward. And the land acquisition is only a small dent, which they still have 1.8 billion, 249 million is nothing, right, for a company of this size. So interesting to see. Where is Hatta this morning? Okay, let's look at Hartalega, hit Hatta, and let's look at the stock chart. And what does the stock chart says? It is still in a but notice just above here. Very nice, right? Let me just switch on a wider chart. This one usually means akan datang one. You look at that. Low volume accumulation. You got the spring classic VSA. All right. So don't be surprised. Within this week, maybe next week, the green pendant will come. So this is one of the reasons why it's important for you to know about the setup and this kind of information, this kind of knowledge. If you can get it very fast, that will help you in your portfolio. And definitely we highly recommend you for our April master intake, which we'll talk about later in our show intake here. All right, let's move on to our next story that we have for you is MMC. The construction has pretty much moved ahead, as we can see. So you look at MMC. Okay, MMC here, you can type MMC Corp, hit that one. And you can see stock price has certainly moved up a lot. And you can see since the green pentagon, right? You can see here, all right, on this side. All right. MMC Corp is 47% since the last green pentagon, right? And you would have gained by just following the green pentagon in here. Let's take a look at this. It didn't hit the ATR stop loss. That's a horizontal red line you see even on the first ATR stop loss. So again, as I said before, important to have patient to run your profits. Now, many times you may have seen some of the mistakes that you make, but all this we will talk about it tomorrow morning too, by looking at the fundamentals of fundamental analysis for beginners. So take note of it. MMC in here, continue to be the proxy. The news talks about the project that they're doing will be definitely the LRT3, a couple of tunneling projects in here with Gambunda. But I don't see going forward beyond 2020 how this it's just more like the economic recovery. Some of the stocks has been in depressed pricing and they're just coming up to better valuation. That's all, so that's all I see coming in. Whether this will improve their revenue, I yet to see, because as I said before, infrastructure spending need to be in time. Of course, the 5G is already in there. All this hype really contribute to the earnings recovery as well as the what we call the vaccine rollout. All right, let's go into our next story. That's right. So our next story in here is definitely the US market. Now Dow Jones, as I said before, closed a new record high as Biden signed in new stimulus, that's right, into the law in here. And we can see right now the US Dow Jones has broke through the 32,000. It's 32,800. And remember, on Wednesday, when you talk about the US market, those of you who came to our US market talk on Wednesday night, I did talk about the year-end projection in there. Just take a look at those. If you not, just go over to YouTube, click subscribe so you do not miss any of those important information. Because sometimes when you do join me, you get piece of it. But the full story, as you progress on, you will see that many of the macroeconomics issues that I talk about do come in and you are able to benefit from it. But also take note, what has done pretty well is because of the falling interest rate 10-year Treasury yield, and the tech market correction may have ended and is looking to buy right now. This is a very nice pullback because Nasdaq has a 10% correction and it scared the hell out of people, including myself too. So don't be alarmed when you see this kind of correction. Learn to cherish correction, and you know how to buy into correction. You will definitely know how to make money going forward for that one. So that is something on the US side. Let's take a look at what we have. Again, to the overall agenda, why we will be doing our trade VSA in here. We did started another trade this week. Again, our third trade for our Pentagon guided trading portfolio. So usually what we try to do is we have 4 concurrent trade running if there's an opportunity, going back to the fixed rule, and those are some of those rules that we will share with you in our value growth investing course on the 20th of March. So make sure you check it out on the 20th of March, because that is the one that we will highlight to you, our Pentagon guider trade shows, and also looking into the rules that enabled us last year, hypothetically created 106% return. That is significantly very, very well, and with a very high win rates. So far, right now, we are into almost mid-March now, just short of mid-March. We are up about 7.6%, which is not bad compared to the CI, which actually has improved -2% in here. Probably this will be around -1%. But having said that, I think the whole point, what we want to show to you going in every episode that you follow us, we are right now at episode number 44. That's right. And you can see how we are able to make the money in there. And I hope by watching this show, you have picked up some things and able to make money through all our trades. And definitely one of them is to highlight some of our past trade in here. You can see Inix in 3 bars 55%, MYG 6 bar 14%, Euro 6th of January when we did this episode 32%, 7 bars, Care Plus ETA 42 5 bars, Xiang LNG is finally hitting a new high. That's right, 67% since 15th of January and 34 bar. And even last Friday, you can see that Armada, which we talk about it, the stock trade idea on 5th of March, 5 bars has gone up 14%, and SL. And they are all short bars. Let's take a look at them today, because that will be our lesson learned for our this morning for our trade, advanced trade. And definitely Armada, SYF, and Zac Lim, which has gone up 67%. And some of you may want to ask, did you do any of the trades? If not, care enough to share me some of the trades that you have, and I'll be happy to review them. That's right. Okay, let's take a look at what we have for you right now. All right, and we have, let's take a look, and I'm going to bring up the real-time chart since we are in the active trading in here. Definitely right now we want to look at is Armada. Okay, Bumi Armada, and we all know just now MIDF talks about the apa itu? Energy sector. So you notice why we are able to pick it. SMARTRobie with its algo technology, algorithm, able to pick this so much earlier. Okay, Bumi Armada in here. So you can see this is where we are, and that was the 14% I was talking about. So let's see. Okay, let's see. This was the 5th of March, and we go back a bit. So let me just refresh this. Pull this down a bit more lower, then you're able to see this. So you can see here, all in all, was the 5th of March. And when we did the time around 10:30 in here, you could see this eventually the next day hit new high. Yes, it did came back, but because of the continuation that we see in the rising oil prices, the market continue to go high. And all we got to do, you can get hold of this as a copy of SMARTRobie in TradingView, and that's how we get our projection. Okay, let me just get this down here. Price range. Okay, there we go in here. 5th of March is here. Sorry, that's right, somewhere around here. So that's how we get our 14% in here. All right, that's about our 14% in here. Let's take a look at our next trade that we have is SYF. Okay, SYF, which is this one in here. And you could see again, we were at the time, let me look at the time, was 5th of March, around 5th of March, which is somewhere around 9th of March, 5th of March. 5th of March here, around 10 o'clock. So we take this time here, right? And that was how we approached almost 11%. Of course, the market did go higher and hit almost 17% before it retreated. But if we go back to the daily chart, this does look like a more likely of a continuation of an uptrend. And you got some upthrust in here. More importantly, do take note, right? This, you have to be very careful now because the market is going up on low volume. You can see step 1, step 2, step 3, but the volume are stepping down. So those are one of the things that I want to share with you on this morning on trading the advanced idea. You want the market to go step up and also step down. So right now, just be careful to ready to take profit, or if it does have your profit objective, whatever the case, get ready to trade. But not too bad. We did make a touch about 11% for this one, and also. But I want to show you the next, the lesson learned from my one trader is Zac Lim, okay, which happens way back in Zac Lim holding in here, and that's the one on 15th of January, which is around here when it first came out here. Right, we hit about 14%, and then the market went on a pause. You could have gone in back again here on green pentagon. You can see that, right? And had another run. Of course, if you had stayed on, right, and this was able to go up almost 127%. A lot of these small stocks, what do they do? Okay, let's check it out. What do they do? Xiang LNG. I really don't know what they do, so I have to check out the stock fundamentals. Are they logistics? Okay, small cap consumer. Let's look at the website, and that's why we hit here. And let's take a look at the things that they do. Oh, all Chinese based. What do they sell? Hakari. What do they sell? Sorry, the internet a bit slow in here. It's coming and see it's triggered. Or either the website loads very, very slow. Oh, they sell rice. Okay, interesting. Why selling rice so they can go to $2? But never mind. I'll leave that to you to check out later. Why this stock goes up in here. And again, you know, the PE in here is about almost 38,000. It's really crazy, right? And ROE is making very small profit. That's why you can see the price has gone up too much. This one definitely, it's kind of interesting. Price move up. But again, today in what we call advanced trade idea, we usually want to do fast trade ideas in here. Okay, so let's move on to those 3 trade ideas that we have, and I'm going to talk about this week new trade idea. That's right. Now this week for episode 44, date 12th of March, we have 2 stocks here, GOB and JAG. Okay, first one I will want to look at JAGs first. Okay, JAGs. And you can see JAGs was very nice. If you have gone in during the green pentagon, my God, you already made 100% in. But today, the premium alert came out. So you can see on the right-hand side here, which is this side, the right-hand side here, we have JAGs and we have GOB. And this one has gone up. But let's take a look. If you had somewhere around here, you enter at the opening in here. Oh, not 100%, 67%. Am I correct? Yeah, 67%. And you got a couple of NS, no supply. Now remember, those of you who've been following my senior trainer, Zac, during the evening session at night, will tell you the high probably win rate of NS. So make sure you get the NS screener, which is part and parcel of our Trade VSA dashboard plugin. Those of you who wanted, there's a number on the left-hand side. You can call and subscribe to our services. So having said that, this is been pretty good. You can see 67, but today is the trade idea for today. Now the next one is GOB. Again, this is property. You can see property has moved up. Let's refresh this one here, and you can see the market all the way down, and we have, you know, what we call a 2 green pentagon pullback. We have a double bottom, very similar in here. It's a recovery play on the property sector in here. Okay, we will come back and see next week how would GOB, would it go back to 50 cents, 40 cents? We will look at the advanced trade idea next Friday. That's right. So that's the 2 trade idea that we have this morning here. I hope you like those 2 trade idea in here. Do give me a thumbs up for the good work and continue able to pick good winners. We don't win all the time, definitely for sure, but hopefully I'm able to pick good winners for you from SMARTRobie, and those of you who eventually has done pretty well may want to upgrade your skill and join us in our April masterclass to really learn more of things that you do. Right, okay. Now, what we have next is usually the setup, the sign of strength, and this is what we talked about just now. The step up volume, you can see 1, 2, 3 step up, and this is also step up. That's good. So when the market goes up, you want to be a stepping up volume and not stepping down volume. Do pay attention to this, and this is what I continue to flash again and again. So when you come up to our masterclass in April, then you'll see there are really more of this variation and pattern, and when you can get it on part of our coaching and training you will definitely do much better going forward in here. All right, let's move on to also our trade VSA tutorial. This is a QR code, so those of you who want to know more about no supply, and do visit that for this tutorial. Now, having said that, tomorrow will be the event, all right, on fundamental analysis for beginner in here. That is the QR code in here. Places are filling up fast. We will be doing through Zoom. Take note, this will be a Zoom session. We'll start in about 10 o'clock, so 9:45 I will meet you guys. We may finish a bit later depending on the Q&A. I hope you all ask a more so-called question that related to the fundamentals in here. I will also prepare a little bit of FAQ towards the end. We will look at a case study, fundamental analysis, how to combine volume spread analysis to have the best, and looking at some of the past great value investor and how well they have done for that one. So do take note and join me. This is totally absolutely free. That's right, that is the QR code for in there. And being a SMARTRobie patron, if you've been in here, this is something I really want to share with you on some of my lessons learned over the last 15 years. Managing funds and also looking at stocks in here. So I'll be more than happy to share my experience with you. So do join me tomorrow, just from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Just after lunch, you'll be off and able to do your daily matter. Better than reading a newspaper or reading a book. All right. Okay. So of course, not to forget, and then following up a part 2 of the fundamental, we will focus on value growth investing. But this kind, with a little bit of twist with Bitcoin valuation. And this itself, you just need to activate the code in here. You can see this is where you are. You can see this is the one you can see on the, let me just switch to a wider chart here. On the left hand side here, just with 800 credit. And the best thing about this, you can share with your friend. If you share with your friend, you get 400 credit. Just share with 2 friends, you're able to get so. So the technical analysis, again, we continue with our free courses right until our March, because we felt that these are prerequisite for you to get you up into speed. By the time when you come for a masterclass, you would have the necessary beginners to get up into speed. And when April comes, when the market correction is over, coming to summer, I think we have a nice boom in there. Whether it is the US market or Malaysian market, you will definitely understand many of the things that we talk about and able to benefit from there. All right. So not to forget, do share with your friends. As I said before, you get a double credit this time, referral friend, 400 credit, and this is a special offer up to 31st of March. All right. So right now, we're going to be reviewing some of the stocks that you all have. And this is the QR code. So as a token appreciation, we really hope that you can go over to the Facebook or Google Play Store there. And special thanks to Lee Mei Fen and Yang Chi Sin for giving us a review in our Google Play Store, Facebook, and Apple Store. So special priority is given to them. If they have any stocks they want me to look at, I'll give them the first priority. If not, I just want to see. So far this morning, there is no stock, so good. So it means everyone is doing pretty well. Okay, we have one from Honga, all right, and let me see. So first thing I will look for Miss Lee and also Yang, all right, and okay, yes, we have Yang in here. Thank you again. We'll look at JCY. Let's look at JCY, and of course, I always give preference to any of you coming in here. JCY. Okay, JCY finally turning green pentagon, very nice. So green pentagon, this one again, it's again a recovery in here. Looks good. Continue to hold it in here, and you can type the exit strategy. I will assume you have gotten it right because of the green pentagon in there. All right. And okay, JCY, look at the exit strategy. You got profit target 59 cents. Not bad, 59 cents, way up here. Okay, way up here. Okay. And let's also look at the fundamentals of JCY. Very nice. Well done, Mr. Yang here, Yang Chisin. This is a good one. It's rated 1. P is a bit high, of course, because they just make a little bit of ROE and P. We will talk more about this tomorrow. Okay, and if you look at it, JCY definitely overvalued. So this is on buying on a recovery play. You have 2 NS, all right, no supply in here. And now be good to do update me, Mr. Yang, when you're later on next week or so, whether this stock is going to go up or not. Okay, next one I will definitely look for is Miss Lee Mayfen. If she got in here, I will definitely, yes, Itronics, okay? And also Yang Tasco. So, okay, Lee Mayfen gave me a Itronics. Let's look at Itronics. So it pays the dividend to be reviewing that. Oh, so Itronics, I think this one is still pretty much in a side memo. Now remember, I think you asked me on Wednesday also, this one is a yellow thing. I hope you got in at Green Pentagon around here, around 18 cents. If you have followed Green Pentagon, you got in at 18 cents instead of 50 cents. It's a really independent. And sometimes if you didn't get in, you have to ask yourself, did you have a trading plan, or did you go in on last minute? And was it psychologically, emotionally, because the market run, you have to jump in? So those are the things you want to put in a trading plan. Find those trading plan when we talk on Monday in here. So right now, let's look at the exit strategy for Itronics. Okay, Itronics. Okay, hit the one on the left. It's so much easier now with the new interface. I hope you like it a bit. And of course, our company Trade VSA spent a fair bit of money to develop this software, and so many of you are using it at almost very little cost. So a little bit of support, we really appreciate that, and the support they've been giving me on Trade VSA so far by joining us and sharing this has been very great. So let's look at our Itronics in here again, looking at the stock fundamentals in here. This one haven't made money yet. So let's look at exit strategy. Okay, and you can see 38 cents inside there. That is the stop loss. You have to wait for the, you can see in here, Itronics is already red pentagon, is in orange trend zone, bearish, and it may move sideways and go down in here, right? Hopefully you're able to cut a bit and move on to something that's moving. Also for Mr. Yang Jinsin, another stock he put in is Tasco. Okay, so Tasco. Okay, Tasco still downtrend, so no point buying lah. You have to wait for the green pentagon or use a trading plan. I think that's pretty simple. If you switch on the ATR stop loss, Tasco. And the whole point, what I'm trying to say, if you can see how I pick those trade idea continue to win, you need to get out from the losing stocks and get into the winning stock. I know it's very painful to get up from the zone. That's why it's part and parcel of our coaching and mentoring that we do in our masterclass to put you in the right frame of mind to become a winner, not a continuing struggle and really a challenger. So do think about some of our program. Definitely coming tomorrow at 10 a.m. will definitely set you in the right place. All right, let's look at the others in here. Lee Mayfen, ILB. Okay, ILB also. Okay, ILB. Okay, this one looks pretty alright, and this is one of our picks for our Pentagon guided trade. It looks like a nice tail inside here, and again, Miss Lee usually run it for 3 months, so don't worry. This one just leave it, let it go only. All right, so let's look at the others that we have inside here. Now I will look at the others since we've given priority to Miss Lee and Miss Yang in here. And thank you for your review and your kind review in here. So for those of you who wanted me to give you first priority, go over to a Google Play Store and Apple Store and hit it in there. Right now, I'm just going to go through the remaining of those trade inside here. We have Cool, Eastland. That's right, Eastland. Eastland equity. This one looks pretty okay. Green pentagon inside here. Use the exit strategy. Again, let's go to Eastland. Okay, Eastland, hit that one. Hit Eastland, and let's look at the exit strategy here. It looks like we have 21 cents. So that looks pretty good. Or green pentagon. Take partial profit if you're up at 17%. Imagine if you're gone at 15%, take some partial profit inside there. All right, follow the green pentagon inside here. All right, let's move on to the other side. We want to look at Abul. Good morning, Abul. Okay, GCB. Okay, GCB. GCB, again, it's a nice stock recovery. Finally, 13 cents. Whoa, look at that. NS, very nicely done. If you have gone in with the green pentagon in here, right, let's say somewhere around here, yeah, you're already 18% in the money. This is a recovery play. It's a chocolate play. GCB, let's take a look at it. GCB, I do think the fundamental looks pretty good. Okay, and check out the stock fundamentals in here. And it is rated 4. And it does pay a 1.4% dividend in here. Good. This is a good one in here. Okay. Honga, Hyaptek. That will be probably the last one I'll be reviewing this morning. Looks pretty good too. You got a lot of NS, very nicely done. So make sure you check out the NS screener that we have inside in here. That one looks really good. Use the exit strategy in here. And that's all we're going to do this morning in here. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for coming. I apologize, I'm not able to review some of your stock pick in here, but definitely next week, Monday, all right, do pencil in your feedback, and I'll be happy to look at them inside here. And for those of you, don't forget, tomorrow I'll see you again, and definitely we'll talk more. And for those of you who have decided that our masterclass is something you want to consider, considering that we will be focusing on US market, the KLSE market, and also lots and lots more on the Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is moving up to 57,000. I'm already making money today on Bitcoin. So I want to share some of my experience on you on Bitcoin, how you can get into those action. And if Bitcoin were to go higher, I think it's possibility by the time we get to April, go to about 60,000 in there, and that's good. So you want to have a bit of exposure to a little bit of Malaysian market, a little bit of US market, and guided and coaches by our system in here. Do consider April uptake. It is still available for registration. Of course, don't forget, do join our Telegram chat room in here, totally free, all the information in that. And I will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So make sure you register and do share the link that I have, all right, with your friends, those of you interested in fundamental analysis for beginner. Definitely I'll be there. I'll be happy to answer many of your questions because we got more time tomorrow morning. And thank you again. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.